Let's give Dana a big round of applause for planning this event. And also give yourself a round of applause because there's a lot that we could be doing today instead of being here. I want to tell you a story about when I was 19 years old. I was very cynical. I thought I knew everything. My mom, again, can attest to this. My family likes to joke that I was in a cult, but I was really just in personal growth work. And the woman who was leading the group told us that every single thing that we've been through in our life is a gift and a lesson. Nothing's wasted and nothing is random. And I thought she was completely full of shit. I want to just walk you through where I'm at right now in my life. When I sat down to put this speech together, I was feeling really uninspired. I'm a mom of 2. My daughter's 3. My son is 5. My son just had his tonsils out and his adenoids. And that was very rough. And then we also had every single sickness you could possibly think of this winter. So I was pouring from an empty cup, a little burnt out, uninspired, not feeling creative. And I was sitting down thinking, what am I even going to say to these women? How am I going to inspire them if I'm not even feeling inspired? But one thing I do know is that women, especially moms in business, we show up regardless of if we're feeling good, if we're feeling not good. And so there's some days where I feel like I'm not showing up in my business, and there's other days where it feels like I'm a total horrible mom. Does anybody else relate to that at all? So now that I know we're all in this together, I want to tell you that for a long time, I didn't actually think that I would be the woman that would show up when things were hard. I know now that the real growth and transformation happens when things are hard, when we're in the trenches, because when it's easy, it's just easy. For a long time, I thought I was just average, because in school, I was okay at sports, and I was a good writer, but I never won awards. I always kind of thought that I would just be the person in the background, just inspiring others or helping others build their dream. And then on top of feeling like I was average, I also didn't really fit in. So I didn't really want to be part of a group either. I didn't want to be labeled just for the sake of having a label. So being average and not fitting in made it really hard for me, especially as a young adult, to try and find where I fit in. But it's an inside joke with my family how many jobs I've actually had. I worked in the oil industry. I worked for a horticulturist. I was a lifeguard. I was a nanny. I waited tables. I was in retail, and I'm probably forgetting many of the jobs I've had because I was just trying to throw spaghetti at the wall to see what would stick, to see where my place in the world was. And it wasn't until I was 22 I saw a job posting for a real estate brokerage in downtown Royal Oak, and to be frank with you, I didn't give a shit about real estate. I just wanted to work in downtown Royal Oak, and I got the job, and that's where it all fell into place. I found real estate, and this was the place that all of the things that I thought actually made me average were my superpowers, because every job that I had, it wasn't wasted. It was all for this. Every single thing I had been through was to make me an amazing real estate agent. So as I immersed myself in the real estate industry, I realized something in the real estate industry. I didn't fit in, and I did not like the culture very much either. Raise your hand if you have an idea of what a stereotypical realtor looks like. For me, it was the suits and the fancy leased car and just showing up in a way that you want to impress everybody, and that didn't feel authentic to me. What felt authentic to me was wearing my tie-dye Grateful Dead t-shirt and my ripped blue jeans and giving my clients a big hug. I wanted to feel like I could be myself. And I looked high and low for a place where I felt like I fit in, and I couldn't find it. So that's why I created Higher Living Real Estate. And here's the best part of the story. I was 8 months pregnant with baby number 2. I'm gonna let your imagination do some of the work here. I'm not a big person, but my daughter was 11 pounds when she was born. So just imagine kind of what I looked like. 8 months pregnant, waddling into the real estate room. I almost didn't go because I was worried about what everyone would think of me, right? But my commitment to creating higher living was much greater than making other people feel comfortable. And the teacher said, "Shouldn't you be resting?" when I walked in. And I probably should have been, but again, this was a moment of growth for me. I showed up anyway. So I want to get you involved here. If you have a pen and paper. So I want you to write this down or just put it in your mind's eye or even on your phone. I want you to think of a season or a time or an experience in your life where it was a season of growth for you. It was something that happened maybe to you at the time, but now you realize it happened for you. And I'll give you a couple examples. When I first started in real estate, I really wanted to save money. So I filed my own taxes, and it cost me $20,000 because I did it wrong. And that was an expensive gift and an expensive lesson because I will never not do that. I'll always hire a professional. And something a little bit more personal, when I was 19, I was in an abusive relationship. And I was spiritually and mentally bankrupt from this relationship, but it taught me what I do want, what I don't want, what I'll put up with, and what I won't. And once you have that, I want you to look at that and think about what gift and what lesson did it give you? What did it prepare you for? What did it equip you with? Does anybody want to share? I need a volunteer. What's your name?
My name's Amanda.
Hi, Amanda. Where are you from?
I'm from Woodhaven.
What do you do?
I am a perimenopause coach.
The floor is yours. Tell us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda. And one of the experiences that I went through is the diagnosis of my oldest son, who was diagnosed with trisomy 18 when I was 20 weeks pregnant. And all the doctors told me that he would not survive. And I believed in my heart that he would. And I advocated for him. And he will be 9 this year. And now I help other moms who receive a diagnosis like this to provide them hope, to provide them just a belief that God's in control and that he will work their situation out, and to help them fight for their children for what they need when the medical system will not provide for them.
Okay, well that right there is exactly what I'm talking about, turning that why me mentality into a thank you mentality. A gift and a lesson can be found in everything. So I know every single one of us in this room is a leader. We're businesswomen, we're moms, and leaders, I'll give myself like a day to throw a pity party, but then it's time to keep moving, right? We take everything that we've been through and we make it work for us. So the next time you find yourself in that headspace of, why is this happening to me? I want you to just sit back and see how this is helping you, how this is helping you grow. This is transforming you into the leader and the businesswoman and the mother, the creator that you are. And one thing I know about leaders is we are not meant to live inside a box. We're meant to create and to expand. So when you leave here today, I wonder if there's something you can create in your industry that you don't currently have right now. I wonder if there's a change that you can make when you leave this room. Thank you.